Well, in other stories around the Imperial Core, following news of a CIA drone strike against Al Qaeda leader Ayman al Zawahiri, there are elements in Washington that are itching for more war in Afghanistan. That attitude was on full display during Tuesday's White House press briefing, where reporters demanded accountability for the Taliban for, quote, harboring a terrorist.
John, how concerned is the administration right now that the Afghanistan has become a safe haven for terrorists? What will the repercussions be for the Taliban harboring al-Zawahiri?
I'm not going to telegraph moves and decisions that we might make. I'm certainly not going to get ahead of anything at this point.
So obviously, John, just to follow up on that, clearly this shows accountability for Zawahiri and for al-Qaeda, wherever they are, as you got him in Afghanistan, but it doesn't show accountability for what the Secretary of State described as a gross violation of the Doha Agreement. So can you commit that there will be some act to demonstrate that they will be held accountable in some way?
So we know that the Taliban was harboring the world's most wanted terrorist. You guys gave a whole country to a bunch of people that are on the FBI most wanted list. What did you think was going to happen?
What exactly do these maniacs want? Another 2 decades of war? I recommend folks read up on the latest SIGAR report that came out about 12 hours after the assassination was announced. SIGAR stands for Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, and the oversight body released information on the state of Afghanistan. From the report, quote, the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan remained dire this quarter, with the UN World Food Program estimating 92% of the population faces some level of food insecurity, and 3 million children are at risk of acute malnutrition. At least half the country's population is living on less than $1.90 a day. SIGAR continues, quote, the most recent Integrated Food Security Phase Classification IPC report projects that from June to November, 18.9 million Afghans will continue to face potentially life-threatening levels of hunger, nearly 6 million of whom will face near-famine conditions. According to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, this represents a nearly 60% increase in food insecurity compared to the same period in 2021. UNICEF further estimates that 1.1 million severely malnourished children will be at risk of death without emergency treatment this year. And here's the thing, it's only going to get worse. Continuing from the SIGAR report, quote, from June to November 2022, humanitarian food assistance is expected to decrease from reaching 38% of the population to only 8% due to lack of funding. The World Food Program reports a funding shortfall of $1.2 billion for operations to distribute food to all 23 million Afghans in need this year. Currently, $2.4 billion of the UN's $4.4 billion 2022 humanitarian response plan for Afghanistan has been pledged by the international community, but only $601 million is confirmed. So I ask again, what more can the Biden administration do to the country that it hasn't already done? At this point, the U.S. is just creating the conditions of another 9/11 while supposedly retaliating for the first. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.